Alright, now when we talk about phones under rupees 30,000, most people talk about the phones that have the most powerful processor or have the best camera. But more often or not, people forget the fact that when you incorporate all of these features inside the device, your device usually becomes very heavy. Now, while using your device for the initial period might sound appealing, over time it can become a tedious task and you might experience pain in your hand because of the extra weight. Which is why we always say that device ergonomics are a very important part. And that is where thin and light phones like the Moto Edge 30 come in. Now, I've been using this phone as my daily driver for the last 1 week, and before that we've also tested it and done multiple comparisons of the phone across our various English and Hindi channels, which you can obviously check it out. But the point is that in this video, I'll be highlighting how good or bad the Moto Edge 30 is as a daily driver and who exactly should be buying this phone. So without wasting any time, this is Varun from GTR and you're watching my long-term review of the Moto Edge 30. Let's get started. Alright, so let's start off by addressing the elephant in the room, which is me. But yeah, anyway, when you talk about the device, obviously the highlight here is the fact that it's slim and lightweight. In fact, it's the slimmest and the most lightweight 5G device in the country right now. I mean, giving close competition to the Xiaomi 11 Lite NE, which is great. Now, obviously, like I said, we've done a comparison of the two phones. You can check it out from the card over here. And I'm not getting into that right now. The whole point that I'm trying to say is that having a lightweight device has its pros and cons. Obviously, the pros generally outweigh the cons, and you have multiple pros. Your device feels very comfortable to hold. Because it's slim, your fingers wrap around it very well. Now, of course, the Moto Edge 30 has very sharp edges here. It's not like something that will cut into your hand, but it is still considerably sharp. But nonetheless, it's not a bad design at all. In fact, the Edge 30 has one of the most likable designs that I've used in recent times. The only con that I have with a device that's this slim and lightweight is that at times you get the feeling that this is, well, a little hollow, which makes you feel that the device is not that premium. Which is not true, because for 30,000 the phone does give you an overall premium experience. But yeah, I mean, the point that I'm trying to say is that at times you might feel, yeah, it's a hollow device, it does not have that much weight to it. Like if you use a Galaxy S22 Ultra, you just feel that it's a premium device. Obviously, there are multiple reasons for feeling that it's a premium device, but the weight is one of the reasons why you feel it's a premium device. This feels a little bit hollow, which kind of affects the overall premiumness. But again, it's not a major con in any manner whatsoever. The one problem that I do have with this device is this back finish here. Now, for the major part, the matte finish here looks premium. But the problem is that it attracts fingerprints, and it attracts a lot of fingerprints to the point where it gets dirty very quickly and you have to constantly clean it. Now, in terms of protection, the device comes with Gorilla Glass 3 protection up front, and you have an IP52 water repellent design as well. Now, I personally would have preferred Gorilla Glass 5 here, but it is what it is. But the bigger problem is that Motorola does not provide you a screen guard in the box. Most companies just give you okay, not a tempered one, but at least they give you a basic scratch guard. Motorola doesn't give you anything in the box. It's just a screen guard with all of the Motorola logos printed on it. So you have to actually remove it to use the device. So yeah, I mean, providing a screen guard in the box would have been a nice touch, especially if you're cutting down on the protection factor of it. Now, in terms of connectivity, you get a dual SIM card slot here, no micro SD card slot or 3.5 headphone jack here. Now, as far as the haptic feedback is concerned, I personally am someone who prefers gesture typing. But even if I have to just specifically type properly on this, or just use vibration for the gestures and everything, like back gesture and everything like that, it's fine. It's not bad by any means. But yeah, there is definitely room for improvement here. Moving on, let's talk about the display here. You get a 6.5-inch P OLED panel here with a refresh rate of 144Hz. You do get wideband L1 here, and HDR does work in YouTube. However, in Netflix, HDR is not supported at the moment. Aiding the display department, we have the stereo speakers that not only get loud, but also sound crisp and good. So the one thing that I love about Motorola when it comes to the displays is the fact that they're especially color accurate. And that's the same thing that we see on the Moto Edge 30. The panel here is damn good. Especially if you're a content creator, you can easily understand whether your display is oversaturating colors or is just producing vibrant colors. That is not the case here. Motorola is actually giving you color accurate images, which not only helps you as a content creator, but also as a viewer if you're watching content on this, because then you're able to basically view your TV shows or movies in the same way that the director basically shot them or edited those footages in. Speaking about color accuracy, another area where Motorola is famous for color accuracy is the camera department. Now the on-paper specs are on your screen right now, and honestly it's a very capable camera setup. My favorite addition is the fact that you get support for OIS here. As far as the performance is concerned, like I said, the shots are very color accurate and quite detailed as well. Now, I do have to admit that HDR could have been a bit better, but it's definitely better than most of the devices out there. Moving on to human shots, they also look pretty natural, and you also get good edge detection in portrait mode as well. Even selfies are sharp and detailed, and you have a good face structure as well. Also, the OIS sensor comes in very handy for low light photography, where you have very minimal noise and good illumination. Now, one more thing, let me just burst a bubble over there. A lot of people feel that OIS should help for video stability as well. While that is technically true, you need to understand the processor that a device is using. This is a Snapdragon 778 processor. The OIS support here is primarily for reducing camera shake for low light photography or even daylight photography, where it just reduces the shake so that your images aren't blurred. For videos, if you want super stable footages, you have to understand that the device needs to work in a hybrid mode of both EIS and OIS. So there will be some level of frame cropping. But even so, the video footage of the Moto S30 is absolutely great, and I don't really have much to complain for here either. I already told you that this thing comes with a Snapdragon 778 Plus processor, which is a slight improvement over the standard Snapdragon 778. In terms of benchmark numbers, you can see them on your screen. The scores are pretty good, but here's the thing that I want to stress upon. And this is something that I said in my comparison of the S30 with the iQOO Neo 6 as well. Of course, the Neo 6 has an 870, which is a proper flagship device. This is more of a mid-ranger chipset that has flagship-like features. But that's more than enough for most users. I mean, like I said, I've been using this as my daily driver, and I came from using the Realme GT2 Pro that is actually powered by the Snapdragon 8 Gen 1. And I'll be honest, I did not really notice much difference. Yes, there is a slight difference in terms of app launch speeds, but that's about it. Multitasking is great. The performance inside apps is great, whether it's normal apps or even the casual games that I play. Like when I say casual games, it's like BGMI, but for like just a game. That's my definition of casual gaming. But yeah, in that scenario, also the 778 Plus does not disappoint at all. In fact, the best part here is that unlike flagship processors, this thing does not heat up, despite coming in such a thin chassis. Adding on to the good parts, this thing comes with Android 12 out of the box, but it's stock Android with all of the slight additions that Motorola does, but zero bloatware. So of course there is some bloat, which is Motorola's actions and all of the additions. But personally, I love those things, and that is what makes a Motorola device, like the software experience, stand out. So again, no complaints there. The only complaint that I do have is that considering that the additions are very minuscule, and it's basically stock Android at its core, the update process shouldn't be as bad as it is right now. If your R&D for software development is not going to take that long, considering you're not adding a whole plethora of features, it's still stock Android and you basically have to just test for stability. I mean, that is what I'm assuming. Things might be different. Well, in that scenario, the update schedule definitely needs to be better. For instance, if you just compare it with any other company like Vivo, iQOO, or even Realme, they have heavy OSs, but their update schedule is very good. Lastly, we have the battery. Now, of course, in a chassis like this, you cannot fit in a massive battery, and the Moto S30 comes with a 4020 mAh battery with 33 watts of fast charging support. Now, 4020 mAh might sound a little low on paper, but I can assure you, I've been using this heavily and the phone has still lasted me an entire day of heavy use without any issues. 33 watts of fast charging seems a little bit low considering that it's 2022, but just considering the fact that this phone will cost you around 30,000, Motorola could have offered a 60 or 65 watt charging support here. I mean, even support would have been fine. I understand if you are fitting a lot of things inside a slim package, you have to compromise somewhere. But even if you just gave support for 65 watt charging, that would have been a good addition. Which brings us to the verdict. Is the Moto S30 worth it? Well, I would say absolutely. See, here's the thing. Not everybody needs a power performance device. And even if you need performance, like if you don't need it like consistently, if you just need performance for every now and then tasks, the Snapdragon 778 Plus is a very good processor. And the Moto S30 impresses in every other standard as well. You actually stay for the entire experience. The entire experience, the user experience, the whole feel of it, everything just works into Cognition, and it just feels like a very well balanced device that I personally would also go out and buy. And trust me, that's a statement that I don't say for every phone out there. We use a lot of phones, but we don't actually end up buying all of them. This is a phone that I would actually buy. And well, that was it. If you found this video helpful, make sure to let us know by giving us a thumbs up and subscribing to our channel for more awesome tech content. Till then, this is Varun from GTR, and I'll see you in the next one.